What is up, y'all? This is Seth here with Renaissance Resurrection. Today's a pretty unique episode. It's something that I wanted to discuss based on some conversations I've had with some people close to me recently. And let me just start explaining it by saying this. I don't think it's any secret that we all know that our society is in a very unhealthy spot mentally, and there's a lot of really large and complex problems that we are facing, and some of these problems can be so overwhelming that it almost makes you feel powerless. It makes you feel helpless to be able to change anything that's going on. We have rising unemployment, increasing dependence on government handouts, these lockdowns, which are, in my opinion, tyrannical and have proven them themselves not to work, rising addiction rates, and just this political and social and cultural divisiveness where everybody's kind of at each other's throats, can't seem to agree on anything. And these problems can just seem so overwhelming that it can lead you to this space where you feel psychologically, you feel helpless. You feel like, I don't even know how to help myself and navigate these times, let alone contribute to solving the world's problems. And I feel like this mindset of helplessness, of not knowing what to do, of feeling disempowered is becoming more and more prevalent. And I think that's very, very, very unhealthy for our society. And so I make no claims to be perfect, and I've been there. I've been in that space where you look at everything that's going on in the world that we're living in today and you say, man, you can feel disempowered, you can feel helpless, you can say, well, who am I to change what's going on? But at the end of the day, being disempowered and feeling helpless is a choice, just like choosing to be empowered and choosing to have a sense of purpose and choosing to help people is a choice. At the end of the day, we have freedom, we have choice of who we're going to become and the type of person that we're going to be, regardless of the circumstances that we're in life and that are surrounding our life. And so me being somebody who has been in that kind of mental space in the past of feeling helpless and feeling disempowered, I want to show you guys how and the steps that I took to begin to psychologically empower myself and give myself a sense of purpose and decide to start doing good with my life, and what really clicked for me a while ago. And so that is what we're going to be discussing today, the steps that I took to begin to be empowered and to stop feeling helpless and to begin living life with that sense of purpose. That's the name of this video today, is how to reclaim your power and stop feeling helpless. So let's talk about all this in 3, 2, 1. There's going to be 4 distinct phases that I'm going to go through in the video as far as how you can begin to feel more empowered, less helpless. The very first phase of getting to that feeling of empowerment is changing how you see yourself. The second phase is detesting the victim mindset and adopting some rugged individualistic character traits and mindset. The third step is to learn to stop leeching your vitality. And then the fourth step is to define your vision and identify who you want to be and then take action. So I'm going to talk about each of these in depth. Now, the very first one that I'll be discussing is the very first step that you need to take to get that sense of empowerment, and it is to change how you see yourself. So I've heard this from a lot of people. A lot of people are just like, oh, meaningless, existence is meaningless, we're all just, kind of like chemical flesh sacks that are here for a little bit and then we die and our existence is meaningless. I say absolute bullshit to that. I'm not here to force my religious ideology upon anybody, but the way I view my spirit, the way I view myself, the way I view my energy, it causes me to be empowered, because I don't look at meaningless. I don't look at existence as meaningless. I look at my spirit, the fuel, if I were a light bulb, the electricity that moves through me. I look at my spirit. That's what that is. It's that electricity that moves through me. It's the divine energy that I've had imparted upon my body, my soul. And I believe that every single one of our spirits has a highest possible good that it is capable of achieving. And once I started to think like that, I wanted to do everything I could to fulfill that highest possible good. I wanted to not leave anything on the table in life that I'm capable of achieving. And so it kind of started to shift me to like feeling more like I'm this man on a mission. And you have to get to that frame of mind where you're not waking up and living like an accident, but you're waking up and saying, hey, there is a highest possible good that I can achieve. I can impact the lives of others. I can do good in this world. I can lessen suffering. And you have to look at yourself like that. You have to look at yourself as potential that must be fulfilled, not just an existence that's happening to happen. Don't trick yourself into thinking that existence is ordinary. The fact that you exist is insane. It's so highly unlikely, and it's gonna stop eventually. Everybody has a 100% chance of dying. So you should do everything that you can possibly do in this life that you want to do, because it's gonna end. So when you start to look at yourself as not just this ordinary chemical flesh sack, and you start to look at yourself as this divine spiritual being who has a purpose, who has a highest possible good that you can achieve, and you start seeking to fulfill that, you'll change your identity of how you see yourself, and it gives you more of a sense of power, a sense of purpose, and a sense of capacity of what you can really achieve. So that's the very first step to begin to feel helpless, or to begin to not feel helpless, and to gain that sense of power, is change how you see yourself. Now, once you have changed the way you see yourself, and you've changed the mental dialogue inside that you're having with yourself about what your existence really is all about, the next step to becoming an empowered and not helpless individual is to start to detest the victim mindset. And sorry, I lost my voice a little bit. Detest the victim mindset and begin to adopt some more rugged, individualistic character traits. Now, this one's difficult because we live in a culture that is increasingly praising victim mindset. Whoever says, I'm oppressed the most, whoever says, I can't do this because this isn't fair, and whoever makes the most noise about how oppressed they are seems to get the most attention. But I'm here to tell you for certain that if you ever want to be somebody who isn't helpless, if you ever want to be somebody who feels empowered about their life and can take control of the direction that it's moving, you have to detest the victim mindset, because the victim mindset says, I can't go do blank because of blank. And the because of part, that's giving power to something outside of yourself. If I say I can't go do blank because of my parents, or I say I can't go do blank because of the way society is, or because I don't have anything that you're saying you can't do something because of something outside of yourself, what that does is it takes the cause of your problem and it puts it outside of yourself. And so when you do that, that means that you're taking the ability to be the solution to your problem outside of yourself as well. So in order for you to be an empowered individual and not feel helpless, you have to take extreme ownership, is what Jocko Willink would call it, extreme accountability, and say, regardless of what happens to me in my life, of course there are things that are outside of our control. There will be things that happen that knock you off course and prolong your path to your goals. But at the end of the day, you have to say, I am accountable for everything that happens to me. No matter what happens along the way, I will not be denied my success. I will pivot. I will be resourceful. I will do whatever I need to do to get to where I want to go, because ultimately I am the one who's responsible for my success. I am the one who's responsible for making things for myself happen. I am the one who's responsible for my life and where I end up. And unless you get to that point where you take extreme ownership of your life and you say, no matter what happens, I will not be denied my vision, I will not be denied where I want to go, unless you can get to that point of detesting that victim mindset, of saying, no, I will not think like that. No, I will not give power to anything outside of myself. No, I will not allow myself to think that somebody else is holding me back. Unless you can get to that point, you'll always feel helpless, because you'll always be giving power to something outside of yourself. So After you start to change the way you see yourself, you have to detest that victim mindset, adopt that rugged individualism, and say, no matter what, I will be the one who takes ownership of where I'm going and what I need to do to get to where I need to be, and nobody will stop me. That's the next step after you've changed your identity and how you see yourself, to getting to the point of not feeling helpless or powerless in your life. Now, once you've gotten past these first two steps of changing how you see yourself and how you approach life and how you hold yourself in regards to just the fact that you exist, and you've gotten past the point of detesting victim mindset, starting to adopt some rugged, individualistic, empowering core beliefs about yourself and the direction that you're moving in life, and you've taken accountability and ownership for everything that happens to you, the third step is to stop leeching your vitality. So your vitality is your energy, your ability to get fired up. Like, you know, it's your ability to feel that, just it's hard to put into words, but your ability to feel that, like, you know, that energy of, I just want to go break down the wall to getting what I want, that vitality. And for me, I feel like a large part of what cultivates that in me is my training, proper nutrition, proper sleep, you know, taking care of yourself. But I'm not going to talk about the things that build up your vitality. That might be another video, actually. But right now I'm going to talk about how to stop leeching your vitality. So if you actually want to be somebody who doesn't feel helpless and who feels empowered in their life, when I say stop leeching your vitality, I mean stop doing things that give you instant gratification and make you feel good for a short amount of time. If you want to be somebody who has a sense of purpose and who obtains their happiness by feeling like they're making a difference in life, someone who feels empowered, somebody who feels like they have a sense of purpose, that's inherently a long-term delayed gratification minded person who's going to derive happiness from those sorts of things. So if you're going to be a person who derives happiness from long-term goals, which is really true happiness, delayed gratification, you have to get rid of instant gratification, which leaches your vitality. You have to get rid of, you know, excessive social media consumption and hyperstimulation, eating crappy foods that make your libido drop, sleeping irregular hours, not working out, playing video games. I'm sorry, guys. Video games are a waste of time. You are putting hours and hours and hours and hours into a digital world that isn't real. Get rid of video games. Get rid of you know, pornography and masturbation. Get rid of drugs, vaping, nicotine. Take all these. These are all pacifiers. We grow up, we have pacifiers when we're a baby to keep us from getting upset. All these instant gratification, little sucky, immediate pleasure things are pacifiers too. Take your binky out of your mouth and see how you feel. Take out all of the things that provide you quick hit artificial dopamine and see how you fare. Because all of those quick hit artificial dopamines, they leech your vitality because it gives you just, you know, just a little bit, gives you just enough dopamine to get you by, that you no longer have the vitality to go and chase these things that are delayed gratification, that are meaningful, that are going to give your spirit sustenance and purpose, these things that actually matter. You're not going to have any desire left because you're getting dopamine and feel good feelings from instant gratification, when in reality, to become somebody who has a sense of purpose and has a sense of power about their life, that's inherently delayed gratification. So cut out all the bullshit and stop leeching your vitality with little quick hits of dopamine that don't actually matter. Alright, now the last step in how to reclaim your power and how to not feel hopeless in your life is to identify your vision of who you want to be. So after you've gotten through the phase of changing how you see yourself and how you regard the significance of existence after you've gotten through detesting victim mindset, beginning to adopt the rugged individualistic character traits, after you stopped leeching your vitality and you started going after your real vision for yourself, or your real delayed gratification goals, the next step is to figure out what your vision for yourself is. So some advice that I have as far as figuring out who you want to be, because that's easy to say but it's hard to figure out, is you have to look at who do you admire most, because our ideals and our ideal vision of ourselves, because we all have a person who we want to be in our head, but there's, you know, differing gaps in each of our lives between us being who we want to be and who we are right now. And so I think a good way to figure out if you don't know who you want to be is look at who you admire, because our ideals and our ideal vision of ourselves is largely constructed by the people that we admire most. So for me, like, I know I admire, and I know I admire Steve Jobs, I know I admire Tim Kennedy, Leonardo da Vinci, Elon Musk, Conor McGregor, and I can see in myself that if you mash all those people together, it largely kind of constructs my identity, and those are the people that I admire most. So the next step is to ask yourself who you want to be, and the best, I think, if you don't know who you want to be, one of the easiest ways to figure it out is look at who do you admire most, and ask yourself, why do I admire that person? What is it that I admire about them the most? Why do I admire that? And then you kind of start to get down to the roots of, like, what are the underlying ideals that you have for being the ideal version of yourself? And then from that point, once you know the fundamental building blocks of your ideal character, then you can start to construct and answer the question, who do I want to be? So that's the last step in not feeling helpless and feeling empowered and reclaiming your power in your life, is to, once you've gotten through, you know, changing how you see yourself, detesting victim mindset, you stop leeching your vitality, now you're going to have all these vital resources, this potent power within you, and you hold yourself in a higher regard. Now you have to take all that energy and you have to funnel it into, who do I want to be? Sit down, figure that shit out, map out a plan for achieving it, and then put all your newfound vital resources into not being a victim, and put all of them into going and achieving that highest ideal version of yourself. So that is all that I have for you guys today. I will make the recommendation, if you like this video and you'd like a little bit further advice, some resources that I can offer are, I have a video on my channel. I'll either put it up here or I'll put it down in the description below. I have two videos. One is called How to Leverage the Subconscious Mind to Create Reality. So I go further in depth on the power that the thoughts that you have possess when it comes down to constructing your ideal self. So that would be a good video to watch if you want to get further into the psychology side of this. And then another video that I have on here that would be very good to watch as far as the practical, pragmatic advice of how to, you know, actually implement planning in your life, of like, hey, here's how I'm going to go do the things that I need to do. I have a video on my channel called How to Plan and Prepare for Your Days for Maximum Efficiency. I'll also either link that on the screen or down in the description below. It'll be in one of those two places. But other than that, guys, I really hope this was useful information for you. I ask you to please share this video either on your social media or just with somebody who you think would benefit from this information. I'm not making this content for me. I'm making it so that I can be of service to other people with my life. And yeah, if you guys want to connect with me, my link tree is in the bio below. It has all my platforms. I'm on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn. Everything's going to be on my link tree down below. Other than that, guys, this has been Seth with Renaissance Resurrection. I really hope this information was helpful for you guys today. Subscribe if you'd like more from me. Until next time, everybody, I'm out.